Today I'm back working on the FL70. So used to saying F750. Setting the bed back on. I don't have it setting down yet because there was something I didn't see, nor did I prepare for. Let me show you on this side. It's not really a big deal. It's just something that has to be addressed. The battery cables come in right here, and this support for my bulkhead is going to rest right in here in this area. As you can see, it has to be right in here, so I need to address this. So I'm just going to basically take this loose, let them come this way. Once we install the bed, they can come back in and go back into the battery trailer where they're supposed to. It's not a big deal. It's just one of those things, you know. That's why you like to test fit stuff, because I was going to just measure and start making my carriages or my brackets for my toolbox, but I thought, you know what, it's always nicer to put it in place and see what you're dealing with. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to set this in place, so I'm going to get that loose real quick. Shouldn't be a big deal. So I fit this side, I got it welded in. You can see the scale here where I burned it in from the back side too. I full seam welded this so that no wind would get through that and make a bunch of racket, because that whistling noise it makes just drives me nuts when I have that. But anyways, I think I'm done here. Now I'm going to fit the other side. I know it's windy. There's nothing I can do about it. I got this side fitted and clamped on real good and tight. About ready to start welding. I'm not done welding outside, but it's windy, so it's blowing all the argon away. I'm not doing real well on the welding, so I decided to come in here and start working on my frames for the toolboxes. Alright, so I've decided to use a piece of 3-inch flat stock, quarter thick, just some scrap steel I had laying around. And I don't like using scrap steel or old steel, mostly because I'm not that good of a welder, and a lot of times I forget to clean up everything. Just like here, I didn't think, I forgot all about this inside corner that I was going to weld like so, and I forgot to clean that, so I turned the welder up and tried to burn through the rust because it was just as rusty as this. But you can see what I was after here. This is the bottom corner. So I could get, look at all that weld surface down here, and then I got it on top also, up on here, and then down through here and around. I cut around this piece of angle here so we could slide it right down between the two so I can get a good weld here. So anyways, that's what I'm going for. So now I'm putting this flat stock on top, and I've already checked for square here, you know, from corner to corner. Make sure that I'm not, you know, trapezoid or something weird going on. We are square, so I'm going to tack it into place and then get it down where it's easier for me to get to weld. All right, this one's done. Welds are coming along. I don't know if you can see that one. Getting a little better. Anyways, we're done. So I'm waiting on materials. Again, I hate using this stuff. I turned that up good and hot to burn through that rust that's in the metal there. So hard to see, but it turned out okay. I'm all right with it. For what I'm doing, it's fine. Yeah, so that's it on this one. I just got my material list together. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting the used pieces so I have them already. So when I get the rest of them, I can put it together. All this is going to get sandblasted and repainted, so it's really not going to matter. It's just kind of a pain in the butt getting it cleaned up if you forget. And then torch marks, you know, where it had a weld there and it's torched out. I don't care for that. Now I'm not going to do away with that on the next one. I'm going to build them exactly the same. And I've checked for square too. My opening is within a 1/16 of square this way, and we're dead on square this way on both ends. So not horrible. It'll be all right for what it is. Let's move on. All right, so the wind is less today, so I went ahead and weld that in. I seam welded this all the way down. So the bed's back on the truck for now, but I am going to weld the carriage that I'm building for the toolbox to the bottom, to the bottom of the bed, because I need that support. I don't want it in just two locations. I'm going to try and spread it across several cross members. But I think what I'm going to do is tack it into place, and then I'm going to flip the bed upside down so I can get good welds. I got a couple new tanks to go on here, and they're aluminum, and I just had them polished, and the problem is this top step, the bolt goes into the tank or onto a stud on the tank, or I mean a nut that's welded, and it goes up to the top also. See this bracket here? The aluminum tanks have no provisions for that, so I'm gonna have to figure something out. I believe these have been painted with like chip guard or something before we got it, and I don't like these steps the way they are, so I'm thinking about having them remade and have this one longer so it gets closer to here. Maybe I can put my bracket on here for a step, make it longer. The bottom one, the bracket's okay, but it sticks out past the fender just a little bit, so I might have that. I guess I can't have it shortened up. There's the end of the bracket, but I'm thinking about having them made in aluminum tread plate. I'd like to have it done in stainless and then just put grip tape on there, so stainless can be nice and you just have the grip tape, you know, just in a small section so you don't slip, and then do away with these altogether. So I'm going to check into that, see if the shop that I've had bend up some steel, see if they can do that for us. I got aluminum tanks. These are from a Freightliner FL70, and they're correct. They're left and right hand. The spouts are opposite like they should be. They came off the same truck, so you got one sending unit and it draws off both. So those are aluminum. They're not all smashed up. They're not too bad. They just need polished, cleaned up and polished. There's a little corrosion where the strap was right here, but I think we're going to be okay. I decided we're going to try and polish the side of this aluminum toolbox. So I bought with the Napa. I picked up 180 grit, 320 grit, and 1500 grit sandpaper for the DA. This came in that one toolbox I bought, so I thought, well, let's just give it a shot. So we're gonna hit it with the 180 first, then go 320, then 1500, and see what we can do with this thing. I've already washed it down, but I don't have caustic soap and I don't have some of the other stuff, so it just means I got to work a little harder with the sandpaper. We'll see what we can do. So that's 180 grit. Alright, so remember, this is what it looked like to begin with. That's what it was. So now we're at 180, and I don't know, I'm okay. I mean, there's some pitting here that's just not going to come out. I have to really sand on that. I don't want to do that. So now I'm going to move to the 320. Alright, so that is 320 grit. Now I'm going to 1500 because that's the only thing I had. I really wanted to go 600, 800, 15, but all they had was these three sizes, so, or these three grits. So we're going to try one pad, you know, one disc, and see what it looks like. You can't believe how much smoother this is. Somebody told me to use PB Blaster WD-40 while you're doing this because it helps to break loose all the crap. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, we'll see. So that is the last of the 320 I'm going to do. I would really like to do finer. I just don't have it. So just because I'm testing this, God, that is so smooth now. I mean, so much better. Still some pits, like this was a tire side, I guess, of a truck, which is why you got these pitting. But look, you can actually see somewhat of a reflection now. And obviously, you know, we couldn't get that before. So, I mean, what a difference, right? And this is all just learning. That's why I chose to start on the side. So if I boogered this up horribly, you know, it's really not going to matter. But now I'm going to get the buffer because I don't have anything coarser than 320. I would like to go on 600, 800, and then 1500. The 1500 I get does not work with that sanding pad, so I'll have to return that and get something else. But let's move on from here. We're going to give it a shot with the buffer. It's not too bad so far. Let's see what we can do. Well, I picked up some 800 and 1000 grits, so this is the end of the 800. I'm done with it now, I think. But look here. It's not so bad. Remember, this is what we started with. Again, I'm just kind of learning, figuring out how to do this as we go. So I know I got a lot of swirl marks in there, but I'll try and get as many out as I can on the next one. Again, these little chips ain't gonna come out, but let's keep going. 1000 grit. Now we're gonna start with the polisher. We'll start with the coarsest polishing pad, and that coarsest rouge bar it's called, and see what we can do. Brendan's got his truck over here, and he's been polishing the tanks on it. I think he's about done on it. It's got a little more to go, maybe. I'm not sure. This is what they started like. Pretty rough. This is where he's at so far. So, coming along. So I just got done with the first pass with this one. Not too bad. I got some spots. I'm not sure what this is. If this was me like pushing too hard, getting it burned in here, or what. But now I'm getting compound down in these little pits, and it's making the pits look worse. But whatever. We'll keep going. Just finished with the second stage, which is that purple one and the green bar, this of the rouge, and it's better. Not too bad. So now we'll do the final stage and see how good we can get. This is like a lot of the compound I haven't wiped off yet, but I figure we'll get it all at the end, I guess, and see how it turns out. Alright, final pass with the white stuff. And not too bad. Not too bad at all. I'll tell you something I think I'd do next time, if I ever do this again, is I will get the soap that they use to get all these little pits clean. Like, I'm going to hand polish this now. A lot of this is just leftover residue yet. But I'm going to hand polish this, but I bet you that soap would be so much better. We get all that stuff clean before you start. Make things a lot easier instead of keep picking it up and throwing dirt in what you're doing. Well, that's as far as I'm going on this side. I've got about an hour invested in polishing this, and I got to tell you, quite honestly, I think it's probably, for me, better to just buy new than it is to spend the time polishing. It's not bad at all. There's some spots that just won't come out, and I think I need that soap. But if you recall, that's what it looks like now. It's not horrible. Still got some spots in it, but that's what I started with. And that's just like, God, it's so close to like being painted steel or painted aluminum. Ain't funny. So to go from that to that is good, but you know, this thing was on a trailer that was never ever polished from brand new, and this came off a 1994 trailer, so it's an old box. So the fact that I guess we can get any shine out of it isn't bad, but the guys that do this for a living, man, they are working for their money. That is for sure. That is not for me. It looks better in camera than it does in person because, I don't know, it doesn't look like it shows up, but there's some dark spots in here that's ingrained in there that it won't come out. Doesn't matter what I do. I can tell you this, if I decide to go ahead and polish the top, I will definitely do more sanding. I'll try and get the soap first, because getting a lot of this dirt out of here, because there's dirt down in here, that little spot there, and these little chips, that just makes it worse, you know. And if I can get something in there to clean that dirt out, you know, you can look at the scale here, I mean, overall, I guess it's okay, but I gotta tell you, I think I'd just prefer to buy new. This is very labor intensive for what you're gaining. Like, this will probably cost me, $700 or $800, I'm guessing. New. I gave $100 for it. So how much is your time worth? I've got an hour in this, which means basically that'd be 2 hours, 3 hours, possibly 4 hours, if I can even get this off. So 4 hours of time. I don't know what you guys' time's worth, but it's questionable for sure. But anyways, we'll see what we can do. So I'm impatient. I don't want to wait for the soap to show up. So I just washed this with just soap and water, and we'll see what we can do. Haven't touched it. This is the first step, just with 180. So when I do the first, I'm going to run this 180 disc until it's done, which means I'll probably do this side and start on this side with it, and then throw it out and get another one and go finer. Done with 180. Did all the sides too. These are difficult. I'm not really gonna worry about that. I'm gonna clean that up with a wire wheel, and that's just probably as good as it's gonna get. It's all corroded. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm not too worried about it. I'm gonna hit this with 320 now, and I'll do the sides and the tops. Okay, so here's my tanks. They turned out really, really good. They're a little foggy right now because it's a little damp out, and you can see there's just some stuff on it I got to wipe off just from sitting. I ended up getting in touch with a young guy who polishes wheels and tires and all that stuff on the side. He came out, polished all this stuff up, did both tanks, did this toolbox. I mean, look how nice he got that hinge too. Did all three sides that I wanted, and he did these two light bars right there, those light brackets. He did all that for me. Really reasonable. I don't think, if I have a fair amount to do, I'll just have him come out and do them, because it's not worth it for me to take the time to do it for what he charged. It was a really great deal. Now, since I had him do this, I ended up buying bigger toolboxes. This box is 48 inches long, 24 inches tall, 24 inches deep. I really wanted 60 by 24 by 24, and I wanted one for each side underneath the bed, which is what I was building those brackets for. And I ended up finding them. So I'm going to put 2 under the bed and 2 on top of it, and we'll pick up on that next time, because I should be finish up my brackets, welding to the bottom of the frame, and of the flatbed frame, that is, and moving on with that. But these turned out really, really good. I'll insert a picture here from when they were first polished. So this is a Freightliner Columbia I have, and I had him do the wheels, I had him do the tanks, I had him do the steps. Of course, there's water on them now because, you know, it's raining, but they turned out really good. They used to look like that. So he polished them. He does a really nice job. He's reasonable and he's very dependable. The weather wasn't cooperating, and he had to come out here several times to do it. Never complained or nothing. He just, you know, came out and did it. So anyways, that's where we're going to leave you on this one. We'll pick up on the other Freightliner on the next one.